Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the fresh Mario Kart 64 Grand Prix No Skips tournament. I'm Matthias, aka MK64MR, and I will guide you through today's match between Jaden from Australia against Armin from Austria. And these two guys are currently warming up. Both will play on emulator. So there's a difference between Nintendo 64 console and emulator in real time for this category, but since both are playing on emulator, it will be a fair competition. And Jaden has a timer. Armin, who is streaming for the first time, doesn't have a timer yet, but I will sync the players up once the match will start, so you can easily follow the race, and one timer should be enough then. So just a short wait until we start this match. Currently waiting for both players to get ready for this match. Okay, they are, so I will count them down. So I've counted them down. The race is about to start very soon. As you can see, Armin on the right is playing on the Japanese version. And I will synchronize them very soon. Okay, and they're off. Jaden plays with Yoshi, Armin with Peach. Jaden is the higher ranked player, so he's the favorite for this match, but in comparison to time trials, in GP there's a lot more RNG going on, so CPUs can really influence the outcome more. Jaden has a mushroom though, good start for him. So after the first lap of Luigi Raceway, almost a second difference, that's basically the mushroom Jaden had. Oh, and that's the first lightning stroke. Well, tough luck for Jaden. That brings Armin into the lead. And another spin out, another banana. So usually you have to watch out here at the tunnel entrance for bananas and other items from the CPUs. But the lightning is the worst you can get. From my experience, on average you get maybe 1 or 2 lightnings for all the cups. So if you're not familiar with the format, these two are playing the no skips category, which means all 4 cups in a row, from Luigi Raceway all the way to Rainbow Road. So they will reset after each cup and do a fast menu. So after the first track, Armin is in the lead by a good almost 4 seconds. Sorry, 3. About 3 seconds difference. Basically the lightning. Maybe Jaden had slightly better driving, but also a mushroom. So we are on Moo Moo Farm, second track of the race. Players have to watch out for the moles here. Both are going quite aggressive, going inside of some of the moles. Jaden went really close to the moles there. Quite aggressive. He has to make up some ground. Okay, Jaden caught up a bit, so it's really close now. Oh, spin out from Armin, which sends him way off to the left. And that brings Jaden to the lead again. Very nice race, 1:12. 3.5 seconds gained there. And of course the menuing is part of the run, as we are on real time. We don't use the in-game timer. Everything in between counts as well. So you have to go fast in the menu, hold start and mash the A button. And we are on Koopa Troopa Beach, third track, with a cave players are allowed to use to cut a portion of the track. Jaden makes the jump into the town. So does Armin. Oh, Jaden hit the palm tree. Could recover a bit with a mushroom and gets another mushroom, but still lost time. He goes way to the right and gets to Boo to get the star. Wow, that was really nice from Jaden. What he did there is to trigger the Boo, which steals an item right at the polygon next to the finish line, which shortly sends you back to last place. The game thinks you are a lap behind. Armin did the same, the regular way, and also get a star. Very nice. Both with item manipulation here. So it's really close right now. Very good KTB from both. Armin gained about 3 seconds here, so he really caught up, and it's dead even, I would say. Maybe a few hundreds in Armin's favor. Very nice. Okay, we move on to Kalimari Desert, and Jaden was either faster in the menu or his emulator has better loading times. I'm not an expert in this regard, so maybe some hardware difference, some settings. Didn't pay attention to the menuing from Armin. He's fairly new to the speedrunning side, the GP speedruns. So, train is coming up for Jaden. He waits, and he still hits it. Oh, that's unfortunate. There's a tiny gap you can squeeze through, but it's very difficult, especially in this mode. Oh, Jaden clipped the fence. Luckily he went to the right side, literally. But Armin with a good lead now, had the cleaner race. The train is coming up for Armin on the right here. Okay, he had no trouble with it. So both players are allowed to instantly reset as soon as they finish this race. They can skip the trophy ceremony. And so Armin does, and Jaden as well. Now menuing is also part of the run, and I think Jaden chose 100cc. Yeah, he went too risky there. He is still behind, so he wanted to catch up a bit. He's, I think, more experienced, but he risked too much, and he spins out at the start. Wow. So he was too early on the throttle here. It gives Armin a few seconds more, and Jaden hits a car. I think he's not relaxed right now. He tries everything, but it goes wrong. Still many racing tracks to go. The whole run will be about 39, 40, 41 minutes depending on the level. So there's plenty of time to catch up. Nice from Jaden here to go between the trucks. Well, Bowser was dangerous with his start. I mean, already on lap 2. So really nice. He increased his lead. And Jaden is trying to pull off the difficult mini turbos on the straight, which is exceptionally difficult if you're not used to this speed. If you do a lot of time trials, and maybe on the PAL version, the slower version of the game, which runs at 25 frames per second. Oh, Armin hits a truck. Then it's more and more difficult to adjust to 150cc mode on the faster NTSC. So Armin in second, but that's still okay, and he has a boost, so he's safe from any car hit when he uses it. Players have to finish in the points, which means first to fourth place on every race. Then they progress to the next. And if they rank out, they would have to redo the track to keep going. Of course, that's mostly a decisive mistake. Players are from similar level at least. You have to do a whole track again. Alright, Armin, 2:31. Almost the same time in the end. So Armin was a bit slower in terms of raw driving and had a car crash, I think, on lap 3. And Jaden had several mistakes which put him back. But in the end, almost the same. So the race is still very close. And I still have the impression that Jaden is faster in the menu. So it's tied up again. Once again, nice. Both take the straight over that hill, which is, I think, a tiny bit faster than 150cc. You wouldn't do that in time trials. Mainly also because there's a shroom spot, the ideal one, right before. But Armin decides to use his shroom here. Oh, and he spins out. And Jaden does as well. Fair game. Except for the lightning. Jaden suffered on the first track. Okay, last lap on Frap Snowland. Track before was Toad's Turnpike, by the way, if you're new to this game. But I think, yeah, in GP it's displayed anyway. At least on Jaden's stream it is in English, since he plays on the NTSC US version, and Armin on the Japanese one. Alright, Jaden moves into the lead by about 3 seconds. So on Choco Mountain, in 150cc especially, you have to be careful. Both have a boo, very interesting. So the spot where Jaden is coming up now, you can fall off to the earlier part of the track, the lap. So be careful there, watch out for bananas. Very nice to have a boo, if you see a banana there. Jaden used his one to get new items, looking for a mushroom. That's the best you can get in first place, by the way, for a speedrun. Oh, he tumbles. Had a bad line coming off that hill. But you can see that Jaden has normally a better line, if he doesn't hit a banana, of course. Clearly more experienced on NTSC than Armin. Armin uses the shroom here. But it's still fairly close. Ooh, wow, risky line from Jaden. Very close to the lake where you can fall in. But both are through without major mistakes. Armin even gains 0.13 during the race. So it's about 3 to 4 seconds still. Okay, final cup of the Flower Cup, final race, sorry. So we are approaching half-time point. The second half of the run is longer, mainly because of tracks like Royal Raceway and Rainbow Road and Warrior Stadium as well. So here on this track, the mushroom is quite important and time saving. And Jaden gets one. Armin should get rid of these items so that he has a chance to also get one. But for some reason he keeps the green shell. Now he fires it. And Jaden with another mushroom. And now with the reset. Armin follows, a few seconds behind. I think I didn't see the times now, but Jaden increased his lead by a bit. You can always see at the next race how big the gap is. I think he's also a bit faster in the menu if he chooses 150cc immediately. So about 11 seconds in it now. So Jaden really had a good Mario Raceway with mushrooms and really good driving. It's not all about mushrooms, he is generally the better player. I think in time trials he is ranked in the top 20, while Armin is storming up right now, flying up the charts and entered the top 100. Maybe even top 80, top 70. So Warrior Stadium is the second longest track of the game and quite technical with all the different hill sections here. And it's the most difficult to handle this at the fastest speed of the game. Because if you get airborne somewhere, you can't really adjust your line. So you have to be careful. Oh, many bananas to dodge for Jaden here. Of course, the lightning would be the worst here at the wrong place. In multiplayer, this is a very common spot to take your opponents down. But yeah, in this scenario, in one player, it would be super unlucky to get hit by a lightning there. You can also stop and wait, and you can even do a mini turbo before the drop and make that jump. But that's very advanced. Has only been discovered a few years ago. So if you play this game with your friends and like to really surprise them, then do that mini turbo before the drop. And of course use lightnings there if you haven't. There are a few more tracks where that is possible. Oh, Jaden just went through a green shell that must have been his own. CPUs can't throw shells here, and if you fire your green shell backwards, you won't get hit. It's impossible. But if you fire them forward, you can get hit by your own shells. So yeah, Jaden looks very comfortable here. He does most of the MTs you would normally do in time trials, which runs at 100cc. And that's not easy to pull off every MT here. Armin seems to be a bit more reserved and cautious. Doesn't want to do a major mistake. And Jaden finishes it in style with the spin out. Very consistent laps. 3:34. Oh, Armin spins out. It was already a bit slower, now he's losing even more time. You must have watched Jaden. He spins out as well. These guys like spinning into the finish. So another 3 seconds, I think, in Jaden's favor. So the lead must be about 14 to 15 seconds, excluding the menu before Sherbet Land. Sherbet Land is dangerous, you can lose a lot of time here, about 15 seconds into it, between them. If you fall into the ice water here, you will not only get a major time penalty because Lucky 2 has to rescue you, you will also get frozen into an ice block, and you have to wait a few seconds to break out of it. So that comes on top. And beside that, the penguins are on a cycle here, but players who are used to them from time trials will have to adjust here. And can't really exactly know without any practice where the penguins will be. There are a few tricky spots to dodge them and go around. Oh, Jaden came very close to the edge there. He's very ambitious on his line and MTs. And yeah, that's what I meant. He went for an MT there, and the penguin hit him. Sometimes it's better to leave it out, but of course he tries to maximize the gain. 138 for him. And almost the same for Armin, just a few tenths slower. That keeps him still in striking distance if Jaden has some major mistakes. So it's not decided yet, but it gets more and more difficult. Oh, Jaden! He avoided to fall into the lake at least. That was very important. The track is quite steep at some point there, but he was on some kind of slope that allowed him to go back onto the road. But it was at a dangerous place. try to pay attention to the laps. 49 lap for Jayden. This is also one of the longer tracks. Nice. Armin caught up by 1.5 seconds because of Jayden's mistake in the beginning. Oh wow. That brings Armin closer, but it's not really a fair game in terms of lightnings. That's the second lightning hit Jayden had to take. Oh, Armin runs into the grass a bit, but still gained a bit of time. Jayden finishes 2:27. But yeah, Armin was able to gain almost 4 seconds. Track number 12 coming up, Bowser's Castle. One of the difficult ones. Narrow paths, and CPUs like to place very evil bananas there. Oh, Jayden takes a weird path to the right, a risky one, and hits another thwomp. That's the danger. Oh no, and he goes down into the lava. I was just about to say, he pauses, I don't know why. Yeah, so this one is difficult. If you had one thwomp, your memory might be completely off where the other thwomps will be. Jayden had a star. That's at least nice for him. Carnage going on both screens, that's really hard to follow. But I promised you, Bowser's Castle can be difficult. So what was that, 50 seconds for Jayden? So Armin was still able to gain about 5 seconds. And he has a mushroom. Oh no! Armin went underneath a thwomp which just came down and squished him. So I think he lost more time than Jayden now. All these bananas here, so yeah, really difficult to maneuver through this track. Both are not in first place, that says a lot. Normally good and experienced drivers here finish mostly in first place, if not every time. Jayden is looking out for Toad in the lead. He won't catch him, but that's okay. Oh, and Armin goes down into the lava. That's a major time loss now for him. Both went down once, but Armin had, I think, a thwomp squish. And both had several hits, crashes. So Armin could have saved time, but he wasn't able to. And I think he finished in third. That's still okay. If he would rank out and reset the console, the run would be over. That's not allowed. So yeah, the gap increased, as you can see. The menu comes on top. I think Jayden's a bit faster there. So more than 28 seconds between these two now. Donkey Kong's Jungle Parkway is also difficult, but a bit easier to get rid of the CPUs, drive in front. Jaden with a very ambitious jump just makes it to the other side. Oh, Jaden got stuck shortly or had problems to go up on that hill. You have to charge an MT and hop very fast. This is also the laggiest track on N64, but on emulator it should be fine. And Jaden, quite consistent, 156. That will keep his good lead and probably increase it. Jaden already moves on to Yoshi Valley, and yeah, he gains a few more seconds, about 3 seconds, so over half a minute now. Jaden meanwhile takes the second fastest path on Yoshi Valley, which is the safest to go, and he does the hairpin jump, which is allowed in no skips. No skips basically follows the time trial rules. Jaden one lap ahead now, as you can see. Both take the same way. Both make the jump here. You have to watch out for the giant egg, which can squish you. Jaden's pace slightly faster, but anything close to Armin will be enough. Yep, both avoid falling down. At this speed, not that easy. Oh, Jaden shoots himself with a green shell, but luckily he stays on the narrow bridge. It was actually very good for him that he stayed on. You can easily bounce over there. And if you fall into the valley here, it will be a very long fall. So Jaden moves on to Banshee Boardwalk. And I think he had a 135. So Armin gained a few seconds on him, mainly because of the green shell, but it's still around half a minute. And Banshee Boardwalk offers the last big danger, I would say, in this run. Rainbow Road non-shortcut is not that challenging, in my opinion. But here on Banshee Boardwalk, the CPUs like to place items all over the place. Bananas you can slip on and then fall down. almost the same lap times, which is good for Jaden. Oh, he goes for the difficult MTs, bonks into the fence. Armin spun out, but stayed on track. So Jaden is going for all the EMTs here. At some point it's wow, these bananas. It's unnecessary risk, but it's just his routine, I think. And yeah, it works out for him. If you bonk into that fence and not go off the track, then it's better to get the MT. Just has some risk. So very nice for him. He goes with a huge lead into Rainbow Road, the final track of the run. And he's looking for a very good time, I think. Could go a sub 40. The world record here is 38.37, but of course with all the icing luck you need. And anything sub 40 is a very decent run. Only I think 4 people have ever done a sub 39. Oh, Jaden hits Chomp. But yeah, he has 34 seconds. Now maybe 31 seconds after that Chomp hit. In his advantage. So enjoy the music. One of the best in the game. In a skips run you would take this green shell Jaden has right now and do a lap skip here on the right, which can be a game changer. But in the classic no skips without any shortcuts. It's all about clean driving. Jaden does the trance style here. Slowing down a bit, releasing the throttle, and then triple tapping the A button to accelerate fast again. If you time that correctly, you will stay on the road. He hits another second shot. So you don't get airborne, and that is actually faster at the steep start finish hill. So I didn't catch Jaden's splits, but 2 chomp hits will lose him time. Of course not enough to make it a close race. It has been close for quite a long time. But it's natural that in the later cups with more difficult tracks, the better player will come out on top. But it's still a task to pull that off, to go through. And I think Bowser's Castle showed that nobody is safe from any crashes and carnage going on there. Yeah, Jaden will definitely go sub 40 by a good margin. It could be the fastest run we have seen in this tournament. I think the fastest so far has been Dan's 39.43. It's not a big deal, but after the group stage, the seeding for the double knockout, double elimination stage will be determined by the fastest times. So if, for example, both players who won their group have 3 wins, This will be deciding factor who is seated higher. But yeah, summarizing this race, it has been on a good level, definitely. It has been close for a long time. And especially on Bowser's Castle, it has been too much to follow for me, to cover and commentate. But that's exactly what we want to see. So Jaden comes up with a very nice 39, 30 or 31. He split a bit late. Very nice time, the fastest in the competition so far, but we are still only a few days since the start. And I will have to recheck Armin's time because he hasn't got a timer. It must be around 40 minutes. I will have to check later. But yeah, good game from both players. Was entertaining to watch. So that's the first win for Jaden in his group. It was also the first match of the emulator group. We have 3 players in the group who all play on emulator. So it's a fair competition then. And nobody will get knocked out after the group stage. It's just to warm up, to have some fun matches and to determine the seeding for the later rounds. So yeah, congrats to Jaden, very nice race. From both actually, as I said. There was really a good level of play. And I suddenly get something else from Jaden's stream. Maybe he's hosting. So I will cut the stream now on SpeedGaming. Thanks for watching, everyone. We currently have no other match with a certain date which has been submitted to SpeedGaming, but surely there will be one very soon again. The group stage ends on April 12th, so we have about 2 weeks more, and then we will go into the knockouts. So join us again for Mario Kart 64 GP, no skips, and bye bye for now.